think the action by Turkey to shoot down a Russian airplane was a very dangerous and provocative event, and is really leading to, I think, further deterioration of the situation in the region, and very well could lead to an ultimate confrontation between NATO, which Turkey is a member of. It must be remembered that Turkey is a member of NATO, and Russia. We know that the U.S. and Saudi Arabia and Turkey and Jordan and Israel and some of the other monarchies in the Middle East, what I call the head-chopping monarchies, we know that they've been funding and arming and training and directing ISIS for a long time. That's a very important thing to recognize, number one. It's inconceivable to me that Turkey acted on its own. There's no way that they would have taken such a stance trying to shoot down a Russian plane on their own. I believe they probably went through NATO. And NATO, what was the reaction of NATO after this happened? When NATO and European Union have given no support to Russia whatsoever, and they've only given expressions of solidarity for Turkey. It's common in these kind of situations when a plane does cross over into another country's territory, and by the way, Russia says they didn't do that, but let's just for a moment say that they had. It's common in those moments to send a plane up, confront that plane, and escort it out of the country. And if they don't begin to turn and leave the country, then it's legitimate that one would take more direct action. Turkey did none of this. Turkey made no radio communication with the Russian plane. They made no effort whatsoever to do any of that, which further leads one to believe, the Russian side, that they weren't actually in Turkish territory. But what was the Russian plane doing in the first place, so close to the Turkey border, inside of Syria? The Russian plane was bombing a column of ISIS oil trucks heading to Turkey, which has been a large purchaser of ISIS oil. So this is one of the ways ISIS has been funding its operations, by taking oil, moving it into Turkey, which has been a safe zone. Turkey has also been treating at military hospitals ISIS fighters. So Turkey literally has been an integral part of this whole ISIS operation from the start. But not only was Russia bombing these ISIS oil columns, but France was the first to do it, in fact. And they were bombing these oil columns too. And then the incident in Paris, the terrorist incident, happened as a result, I think, directly or indirectly, of France's operation. So it's clear that if you start bombing the ISIS oil columns, you cut into the profits of ISIS, which makes it more difficult for them to wage this war on Syria, trying to topple the government, I think illegally topple the government of Syria. And so, but let's go to the Syrian intelligence chief, Hakan Fidan. In October 18th of this year, he made the following statement to a media outlet. He said, quote, "ISIS is a reality, and we have to accept that we cannot eradicate a well-organized and popular establishment such as the Islamic State. Therefore, I urge my Western colleagues to revise their mindset about Islamic political currents, put aside their cynical mentalite, and thwart Vladimir Putin's plans to crush Syrian Islamist revolutionaries." Fidan further added that in order to deal with the vast number of foreign jihadists trying to travel to Syria, it's imperative that ISIS must set up a consulate or at least a political office in Turkey. He underlined that it is Turkey's firm belief to provide medical care for all injured people, meaning ISIS fighters, fleeing Russian airstrikes regardless of their political or religious affiliation. So it's absolutely clear to me that Turkey, a NATO member again, is key element in this whole ISIS operation. Now, why isn't the United States and other NATO allies screaming at Turkey and making noise about this? Because I believe they're part of the entire ISIS operation. So people really need to see the writing on the wall here, see the bigger picture of what's going on, and see once again how the United States and its NATO allies are out destabilizing things, and in this case, creating really severe situation with Russia that very well could lead to a direct shooting war between the United States, NATO, and Russia.